Go to any museum and you'll find artifacts that tell us about our past. That includes many items from South Dakota tribes. A federal law now mandates that Native American belongings be offered back to those tribes.
Well, now many museums and other institutions are returning them. It's a process called repatriation. I-Team reporter Beth Warden in studio tonight as she traces the history of remains discovered right here in South Dakota. Hi, Beth.
Hi there, Brian and Andrea. If you've ever been golfing in Brandon or visited McCarty Park, you've been on land teeming with history that dates back to when Native Americans called the area home. Today, we look at an immigrant family that settled in the area, made friends with the Native Americans who lived nearby. We also present to you a mystery our I-Team helped to solve over 90 years later. When looking across a landscape, do you ever try to picture what it looked like hundreds of years ago? Augustana professor emeritus Adrian Hanna says some have a misconception.
This was not an empty continent when the Europeans arrived. It was a continent teeming with millions of people.
In 1873, Nels Nelson Graff and his wife Elsie built the first permanent wooden structure home in the township where Brandon is now located. The structure sits at Pioneer Park, a few blocks away from the original location.
153 years old? Holy cow.
Along with a few other settlers, the Graffs moved next to existing neighbors. Native Americans lived in a settlement nearby. Miles Graff, a grandson of Nels, documented the friendly interactions with their neighbors. The book is now with the Brandon Historical Society and President Jeremy Risty.
The Sioux Indians used to make camp at the bottomland where the river makes a horseshoe bend. Many Scandinavians are tow-headed or very light blonde hair when they're young. I suppose they were superstitious and rubbed his head for good luck.
The Graffs lived off the land and bathed in Split Rock Creek, just as their Indian neighbors did. As the third generation of the Graff family grew in age, a discovery was made.
Later, my brother Robert discovered Indian bones, likely an Indian burial ground where the river had eroded the bank and exposed the bones. They now reside at the University of South Dakota in Vermilion.
Now, this story creates questions. Where are those remains now? How did the person die? So we went on a journey to find out more. The final conclusion was unexpected to everyone involved. Coming up, see what we discovered and see how a South Dakota tribe honors belongings and ancestor remains that are returned back home. That's at 6 on Dakota News Now. Brian and Andrea.